Hello and welcome to the Deplorable Dan and his Rants show. I'm Deplorable Dan and this is episode 4 on YouTube, and this will be episode 99 on my Facebook page. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to talk about Paul Ryan and the untrustworthiness of Paul Ryan, because it has come out that a photographer has snapped a shot of this man, Paul Ryan, the neocon Republican, coming out a few blocks down from the White House, and it isn't a photo, and he waited, that reporter did, for an hour hiding behind a bush, and he got a picture of Paul Ryan leaving this house right down the street from the White House. Didn't Obama buy a house a couple blocks down from the White House? The shadow government? And I'm sorry to tell you, but there is a shadow government. I mean, if people really want real news, then they'll listen to this, because I'm giving you real facts. Because I look up my facts. I get my facts from factual people and sources. And unlike fake news, I don't get none of my news from there. And this source come from a good friend of mine. And I won't mention her name, but it's a fairly good source of information. That's all I'll say. And InfoWars hasn't hit on this one yet. I'm surprised. But Paul Ryan was I'm going to use proper English here, seen leaving the White House, sneaking out without Secret Service. Because even as a representative of the House or the Senate, you still have Secret Service that have to follow you around. So him being in the hierarchy, he's going to have Secret Service. So he snuck away from his Secret Service and was seen leaving with this Obama attorney and stuff. So right there should throw up a red flag, okay? He was seen going into this place with Obama's attorney, and also leaving with Obama's attorney, but leaving with a huge smile on his face an hour later. It was almost an hour later, according to the report. But he walked out of there all smiles, like he had just successfully won a trophy or something. Maybe it's called a globalist sellout trophy. And I've been saying this for a long time about Paul Ryan. He's nothing but a globalist sellout. I believe he's in there to ruin Trump's presidency. I believe Donald Trump, Mr. President Donald Trump, which I'm proud to say that, because I'm deplorable. And it's time for people to realize the corruption that's going on right now. Do not be fooled by such idiocracy of CBS, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, Fox News. I don't even want to really mention these guys. That's why I saved them for last. The Contaminated News Network, CNN. Yeah, listening to those, because those are non-actual facts. Okay? If you want real news, start, like I said, go to Breitbart, Drudge Report. Drudge Report's a good spot to start. And Infowars.com. I love those guys over there. They're awesome. And they're all facts. All three of them networks are nothing but facts. Plus, I get other sources for me that can kind of help me out. I'm just the bottom guy. I'm a bottom dwelling feeder, but I do got my sources. And it's time for people to start waking up and realizing that these so-called party lines mean something anymore. I'm telling you, I've been saying it. And if anybody that's a friend of mine on Facebook knows how I am. I don't trust either party, because that's why I'm an independent. Okay? I'm an independent voter. And yes, my vote did count, okay? Russia didn't help me go to the polls and vote for Donald Trump. I went there and voted for myself, okay? Is that what you want to hear? And no, I'm not a racist. I'm not a bigot for voting for him, okay? My niece is of color. You folks have known this. I told you this. She's a mixed girl, beautiful little baby girl. Wouldn't trade her for the world. All right? Now she's starting to walk and getting into everything. Imagine that, almost a year and a half, I guess. But I don't know. It's just the stress level of this whole thing with or I keep saying Donald Trump because I'm so used to him not being our president, but he is our president. Trust me, I respect that. He is a good president. President Trump, which I'm proud to say, because I ain't been this proud since I was a little kid when I liked Ronald Reagan. Even when I was little, I liked Reagan. But we haven't had a good president since then. And I've said that for years. And before that, it was Kennedy, when you study your history. Of course, I wasn't born, back in the 60s, so I don't know that much about JFK, only from reading my history book in school, high school, and reading books on Kennedy my whole life and different things. But JFK, he had it right, and so did Ronald Reagan. But, of course, they tried to assassinate Reagan back in the 80s. They failed. That was the globalist. I know it was. The globalists did take out JFK because he ran his mouth about he was for the working class unions. And back then the unions were actually a lot better, a little more cleaned up. But if you did them wrong, boy, they come looking for you, the mob. But I don't believe the mob had ties in that at all. I believe it was either CIA operative done, or it was done by the globalist regime. But either way, he was assassinated because of standing up for people like myself and other people that work in this country that have real working jobs, not Hollywood jobs, working in movies and acting. Anybody can act. I can go take a week's long class and I'm sure I could come out as the biggest drama king. Come on now. I mean, this is just, I don't know. It's so ridiculous, this country anymore. The morality of this country is based on Hollywood, which that's fiction in itself. But getting back to, I know I always get on one subject and go off to another direction, but getting back to Paul Ryan, this Ryano, really what he is, Republican, he's got to go. He is nothing more than a sellout. I feel the same way about several other senators, which Mitch McConnell's one from Kentucky. I feel like he's a globalist sellout. I feel like Governor Kasich from Ohio is a sellout. The one that ran Republican, if y'all don't know who that is. Yeah, it's just, there's so many of them, you can almost smell the stink coming off of them when they walk out the door of the floor of the Senate and the House. You can smell it all the way from where I stand, and I'm right in the middle of the USA. So I tell you what, the stink bombs are galore in the White House, and all the neocons need to go. Like I said, I'm an independent voter, but I cannot stand liberalism when it's taken the wrong way. Believe me, I love liberalism and I love conservatism. That's why I'm in the middle. I'm more of a libertarian then. Do you understand that? Like I tell people, I'm more liberal than a liberal herself. Okay? The only difference between me and a liberal is I'm against total welfare, because I believe that there is such thing as welfare fraud, and you will get caught. For people that don't use it the right way and abuse the system, I disagree with it. It's there for a reason, okay? If you're laid off, if someone's injured and they can't go back to work, that's understandable. That's another one. Or if somebody's health's bad, that's another one. Or you can't help those things. But for someone to feed off a system that feeds you, that I pay taxes for, and every other working class American citizen pays for, I don't care if you're a carpenter, attorney, a donut maker, it don't really matter what you are. It really don't matter, because you're paying in for this stuff one way or another. Even if you're working at McDonald's, you're paying for that. Whether you know it, kid, you're paying for it. Yeah, well, I guess even your older retirees that work there, I could tell you the same thing. You're paying for it. But it's true. I mean, that's been abused for so long, and it's pathetic. I'm against it. And I'm against, okay, and that's one liberal thing that I'm against. Because liberals always try to say, this is what kills me. Today's Democrats, they try to say, oh, we're against welfare. Well, truth be known, yeah, the Republicans may have founded welfare, but the Democrats have destroyed it because they've let too many people abuse the system and get away with it when they could have been prosecuted, But Democrats have to stick their foot in there too much. That's today's Democrats. They're not really Democrats. I call them demonocrats or demonocrats because that's what they are. And for any of them to, try to butt in when it's something been done wrong, it's unacceptable. And it's being demonically done intentionally. And it's ridiculous for let people abuse the system. Because there's people out there, like I said, with bad health, people that just can't go back to work because they're injured. They need it. They paid into it. They worked. They paid into it. It's a whole different story. All right. Enough of that. That's the thing I disagree with the Democrats on when they butt in on stuff like that. Another thing I don't like, especially, this is number one to me, and it's abortion. It's not my choice to kill an innocent child before it even gets a chance to live its life. Anything that's growing inside a woman, a doctor will tell you, no matter when it starts growing, as soon as you start seeing a head and some eyes forming, that's a baby. And it is. Anytime it takes form. Come on now, this ain't a flower. I mean, seriously. Let's be honest. It ain't a dandelion where you can say, oh, I'm just going to pluck it out of the ground and, hope it doesn't grow back. It's the same way they're treating an aborted baby. And it's ridiculous. The whole thing about abortion is ridiculous. And my biggest phrase about that, about abortion, is it's totally despicable act because it just shows selfishness of that individual female that is having that baby, and whether or not it's not either her decision or her partner's decision, or I'm trying to say this in the proper way because not every couple that has a baby is married. Sometimes there just happens to be a boyfriend gets the girl pregnant too at an early age and they want to abort because they feel like there's no way out. They've been told that their whole life. And that's why mommy and daddy have babied them too much their whole life. And it shows in those situations. But I'm totally against abortion because it's not my choice to play God, and it's not your choice to play God. And whether you believe in God or not, that's up to you. But he is real, whether you want to believe it or not. And maybe you'll find out sooner or later. Maybe he'll show you a sign that he is real. All right. Enough off topic again. I can go off topic all the time. But since I haven't ranted in a long while, that's probably why I'm on here doing this. It's been a couple weeks. I know. I've really stretched out my show since going to YouTube. Kind of worried about what they're going to do to my show because it's just come on here. I've been doing them on Facebook because they've been pulling InfoWars shows and Breitbart. They've been pulling them like crazy. Like Breitbart can't even get nowhere on videos or anything. It's a shame. And Drudge is probably the same way. I haven't checked Drudge Report in a little bit. But I watch InfoWars more than anything here lately. And I watch that about every day. I ain't gonna lie. That's where I get a lot of my info. And then a lot of times, like I said, I got my own sources I get info from. So, that being said, back to Paul Ryan. This Ryano has got to go. That's all I'm going to say. He's got to go. He is doing nothing but deceiving our President Trump. And he's deceiving the public, making himself look like he's this actual cool guy for the president when he's actually stabbing him in the back with a knife. And this photo, him coming out of that house a couple of blocks down with the shadow government right there, it ain't looking good. It looks like Mr. Trump, Mr. President Trump, will you please watch this video and please wake up? Because I don't want nothing to happen to you, because I really see you as the next Kennedy-esque, Reagan-esque president we've ever had. And you may be better than both, but of course, you've got to show me, and you've got to show the rest of the U.S. and the world that you can do it. And that's the only criticism I have, is that Mr. Trump's got any evidence on the abomination and them doing all this. He needs to come forth with it. And hopefully he's got video footage of it and sound. And then people that are witnesses, the good people in the CIA. Because believe me, it's probably a CIA or FBI cover-up. And I'm not trying to go down that road, but it just don't sound good. It sounds like it's all collusion, because they are afraid that they're going to take out their new world order on the horizon. And that's what they had plans for. If Hitler would have got in there, this country would have been a mess. We'd already been probably getting in line for taking the mark of the beast, the RFID chips in the right hand or the forehead. I'd say it probably been in our right hand, because that way we could go through the stores and scan, or go to the gas stations and scan. I've got news for them. I ain't taking it. So, all right. That's enough from me, my rants for tonight. I like to end this show like I end all my shows. I'm going to end this one in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I come to you tonight, and I pray for this nation. I pray that people will seek your face and find you, Lord. And Lord, I just pray that you will also be with our president, and be with the good people that are in our House and Senate. Make them start speaking up, Lord. Don't be afraid. I mean, you have the power to change, and I really believe that you can change their heart. For it is in Jesus' wonderful name I pray. Amen. God bless America. God bless you all, and God bless Israel.